Angela Hatcher. I am a child of God. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother. I'm a caregiver. And I love working with people. So on my dad's side, I think they've always kind of lived in the area. He's basically from Aldi, which is probably a little ways down the road, and his family, from what I remember or for what I've been told, has always been there. On my mother's side, her grandparents were from Macon, Georgia. So they migrated here, I guess you could say. He was a blacksmith, and my great-grandmother was a seamstress. And in this area, it was big into horse country, so that kind of was right up their alley. And so she would make the riding pants, which they call joffers, for the riders. And then my grandfather worked like with horses. My great-grandfather worked with the horses. So my mom, her mother had, I think it was like 7 of them, and probably 5 of them lived within that 3-block radius. So that's how we got to be so close, because we had so much family in that area. And honestly, that area, from when I remember little, it was all black. From J up to Marshall, there were only 4 like apartments in that building. So my grandmother lived here and her sister lived here. And as things evolved, my grandmother lived here, her sister lived here, my uncle lived here, my aunt lived here in that same building. So it got to be that it was all family in that one building. A lot of, my mother worked and my dad worked, so I stayed with my grandmother a lot on that corner. And pretty much everybody knew everybody, so if you went to that community center and did something wrong, somebody would see you. And it would get back to my grandma. And I don't even know how, because like we didn't have phones, we didn't have cell phones, but if you did something wrong in the community and someone got in trouble, it got back to your parents really quick. And I mean, that's where we played all day. There were swing sets, the basketball court, slides. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to do, a lot of land so we could play football, kickball, baseball. They even had horseshoes on one side. So it was a lot of stuff to do there. And so one of the things that was really big is people from everywhere would come to play basketball on that court. And so the grass going to the court was like, we called them the loop-de-loop hills. They went down like that. So everybody would sit on that hill and watch basketball games. I mean, we would watch basketball games. It was just like the NBA playoffs to us. So the church, Asbury Church, was a family church. A lot of my cousins went there. We had many musicians before I started, and I was kind of young at that point, but so it was more of an adult choir. But when I started playing, I kind of made it a youth choir because I brought my cousins in to sing. We had fun. We had good fun. It was hard because it was family, so you're going to argue. It was like we were siblings. But it worked out. I think that we did a good job. A lot of times we went away. Other churches would invite us to come sing. So, and we were probably one of the first kind of youth choirs in that aspect of things. I miss singing with them. Our theme song was "Oh Happy Day," and my grandmother would always request it when we had big things at church. Sunday service was, like I said, a lot of our family was there. So that was a good thing. Usually, quite a few times, the minister was right across the street because that was the parsonage for the church. So that minister may have, or may not have had family. So it changed from time to time. So that kind of brought things together. So we did things there. We had picnics there. We did a lot of activities. So a lot of people were involved. Sunday school was very important. We did a lot with Sunday school, and the teachers that we had were very good at teaching and being, giving us information and helping us through, helping us understand the Bible, and teaching us, not the rules, but, every church has a way that they do things and things that they want you to learn, prayers, scripture, that kind of thing. So they worked a lot on teaching us those things. It was my life. And if it had continued, I could see myself growing there, but the community started changing. I'm getting emotional.
It's okay. You're safe.
So the community started changing and people started moving away because Middleburg was not really growing. So as families grew, they had to move to find housing. And that's what happened with my cousins. They all started moving away. And they moved to Leesburg or, further away. And then it got to be, it wasn't as convenient to come all the way back to Middleburg to church. And so people started dropping off. I think, that's the biggest thing that happened. And that really affected me because that meant that all of my playmates were moving away. So that was a big thing. And then just people that were working hard and worked hard to make it a community were dying off and moving away. That's how we lost the community center. And then once we lost that and it was sold, then kind of all of that went away. I think it was an important part of our history. It was a meeting place. It was a place where you could get together. There was love there. A lot of good memories. Asbury Church made me who I am today. Some of the things that I've learned there, I took to where I'm going now, which is Mount Pleasant Church in Aldie. It's a Baptist church. Some of the things that Rosa Carter did for us when we were little, I took there to work with the kids I work with. When we do our vacation Bible school, it's the same song she taught us. The same little rituals, doing a pledge allegiance to the flag, pledge allegiance to the Christian flag, pledge allegiance to the Bible. All of that was what Rosa Carter started. She took it there, I continued it there. We still do it. This July, we will have Vacation Bible School. It will be that same way.